Well, hello guys. As I said, I meeting you guys in an ancient city here. Um, got a little bit of an area over there, doing amazingly. And we're here to get ourselves Swift Sneak. Well, got a notch apple though. That's pretty cool. Saddles. So that's two. Music disc. Other side. Swift Sneak 3. Let's go. We got Swift Sneak 3, baby. Let's go. Okay. So we honestly got basically everything we can get. We got Ward. We got Swift Sneak 3. Other side, which is a nice bonus. We don't have all of the music disc, though. So that's a little unfortunate. We're in a little bit of a safe spot right here. So we're going to put these away. We're good. We're good here. We're good here. Let me grab some of this. I'm going to keep exploring and see if I can't find anything else interesting around here. Oh, that scared me. Swift Sneak 1. I don't necessarily need it. Echo Shards will take those. I'm glad there's not something up there, though. Swift Sneak 2. Well, now we have all three. Keep a regen in my inventory. Oh. Okay, the good news is Shriekers can only go off as long as they hear something. Meaning, as long as the sensor can't hear, it can't go off. But just in case this goes off, and I need to get back, home is this way. Home is right here. We're gonna actually turn so we're facing home. We just need to fly over there. Okay, boys, that was fun. Alright, well, it's okay. We got quite a lot of loot. Not everything we could get, so we're going to leave the ender chest down here. We're going to leave these here, but we're going to get everything. Home sweet home. We're back. We're finally in our hobbit hole town. Alright, let's look at the loot that we've got. Whoopee! And the wool. Alright, so we got what we were looking for, Swift Sneak 3. We also got 2 Ward templates, which is pretty darn cool. 4 Notch Apples, a little bit of diamonds on our way there. But I think it's time we do a little bit of that, a little bit of that. Boom. Oh my gosh, that's so nice. Y'all have no idea how nice that is. That's really nice. We like that. We like that. Alright. Let me put some of these things away. Get them out of my inventory. I might check out. See if I want to put that on anything. Grab out this guy. And like chuck that in there. By the way, in the making of last episode, I was just mining for gravel. I happened to stumble upon a monster spawner. And I found myself a notch apple. First notch apple. Wasn't recording because I didn't think about it. But you know. Yeah. That's where that one came from. Anyways. I will worry about sorting these later. I want to tell you about what I want to do in today's episode. Today's episode is very, very simple. You see, I have a panorama that Minecraft starts on, right? And it's in a world that I haven't played in for, honestly, maybe a year now. And I think I'd like to change that panorama to this area behind me here, because I think that would look really nice. Except, there's some stuff missing in this area. I'd like to put a market stall here, make this look a little bit nicer, put another farm here, make this area look a little bit nicer. Yeah, just spruce it up a little bit. Maybe with spruce, maybe not, maybe with other types of wood, I don't know. But I want to make this area look a lot nicer and fix up the panorama. The other project that I want to work on today, since we got the first one done of getting Swift Sneak, is right over here. Boom. This. All the way, and I mean all the way to right about right there where my mouse is. Right over here. I'm moving it over crazy. Right there. I want to build a pathway that goes from here practically to spawn. It's not going to go all the way to spawn because a big old ocean blocks the way, but it's going to go pretty close to it, to at least what I will eventually hopefully build a harbor, and maybe at that point I'll be good at building boats, but we're going to put a pin in that. Though the pathway and the bridges, and including a town that I'd like to build in one of the villages that's along the way of the road. There are several villages, therefore there will be several towns, but we will only build one in today's episode. Those are the plans. I need to look at my schedule to see what I'm supposed to do next, and then I'll get back to you guys. I'm just going to make sure we're right on top of this guy. And if we take a look around, we did some touching up, mainly with this area back here. Just kind of fix the area up, make it look a little bit nicer, so that way when we do the actual cinematic montage that I hope you're all waiting for, it looks nice. And then we will get the panorama right where these flowers are. I will remove them when I actually get the panorama. But these are just kind of a baseline for where we're going to get the actual panorama. So without further ado, let's start building this area up and making it look very, very pretty. Well, would you look at that? Isn't it nice? The panorama now actually being something I play in. Now you may notice there's a couple of lines here and there. I, for some reason, just can't seem to get the panorama to line up perfectly, so it's like smooth, and as you can see, there's some lines where there's that overlap. I've made it so many times. I've followed all the tutorials to the letter, different tutorials, and for some reason, there's always just that tiny amount of overlap, and I don't know why. I don't know what I need to do. I don't know what settings I need to follow, and because I know there's something about getting the computer. Anyways, it's a bunch of stuff that I need to figure out. Just pop into a little bit extra and actually take a look at the work that we did. You saw a lot of it in the cinematic, but here's what it actually looks like. This is what I walk by every day. We've got all these armor stands here, the market stall. We got this guy, he's covered in dyes, because of course he's working with them constantly. We got this guy making stuff. This librarian, we got the farmer. I moved one of my dogs out here as well, because I think it looks nice to have a farmer dog here. Also, love the lilac fields and all of that good stuff. And of course, the whole surrounding area is also much, much nicer. Using some of the firefly bushes as well in this area, I think looks really nice. The cart got upgraded. I believe I found a picture of it online. I'm probably not going to link that in the description, but just so you know, not my design. Found it on Google. You could probably look it up. You could probably find it yourself by just putting in a wagon or something like that. Got this guy over here. He's a little tipsy from being in the non-interiorified interior. I actually really need to get on that. I forgot that it doesn't have an interior. Yeah, and then another rock up there that looks very, very nice, so that we can finally get to our wool there. But the thing that I need to work on is right over that hill, right on the other side. I need to build a giant path that spans from here all the way to spawn, or at least very close to spawn. It's not going to go exactly there because there's a big ocean in the way, but we're going to bring the path all the way to the jungle that's right next to that ocean. And then that jungle space will eventually become some kind of a city or a harbor town. I'm still thinking of exactly what I want to do. But basically, it's going to have a harbor in it, so it could take us all the way to spawn. So without further ado, let's build a path. And here's the end of the pathway. Yep, as I mentioned, it ends right at the jungle. If we go into this map here, you'll be able to see that the pathway comes all the way here, and there's an entire jungle, and then we get to the water. And of course, all the way on the other side of the water, right about here. Hold up. I can find it. Somewhere about here is spawn, right there. So we obviously couldn't bring the path all the way there, but we're going to bring it here. And with this space, I'm either thinking a modern city with a giant harbor, and we're going to either way cut this giant portion of land out. That's a future me problem. That's not a today issue. Cityscape here, or just a harbor town that's maybe not in a modernized style. Don't know yet. That's a future me problem, but it just kind of ends right here. And that's it for the path. So we're going to head back, actually, now that we've got the path done. And I want to talk to you about the bridges that I want to make. So we're going to make a couple of bridges. I believe 5 in total. So we have 4 archway bridges, and then 1 much larger, sturdier bridge that'll be there. And then, of course, once we get those bridges done, the next thing is to build a town in there, or at least a market street is, I think, more or less what I want to go for, because I don't think I can build an entire town for 1 episode, but at least a market street can be built. So that is going to be the plan. This pathway is very long. It takes about 10 minutes to ride from all the way back there to home. Really long way. It takes even longer, I guess, to get to spawn then, because it's much further away, and there's an ocean to have to worry about. But without further ado, I have some bridges to build and some cinematics to make of me building those bridges. So let's go ahead and build some bridges. This bridge is looking really snazzy. I quite like it. By far my favorite of the bridges that I have built. The archway bridges, not like it. I don't dislike them, but I don't like them either. But this bridge, I like mostly. I feel like I could build better bridges, but this does the job nicely. We have got a wide arch here. It is even in the middle, so just kind of have the stairs like that. Not a huge fan of the way that looks, but I don't really know what else to do. We got the lights all along there. I think the bridge just came out quite nice in general. By far, out of all the bridges I've built for this episode, this is by far my favorite. Now I want to turn our attention to the village that we're about to come up on, because I want to remake the village and build a town there. We're going to have a road that goes through, and we'll build the markets and, well, not the markets, but the stores that are on the outside in this town area. I think it's going to look really, really good, and I'm quite excited for it. So without further ado, let me build that, and I'll meet you guys there. Alright, and we're coming up on the newly built town, or the main street, I guess. Oh, it looks so nice. Over the bridge that isn't a bridge yet. And let's go ahead and let's park our horse in the stable here, in the rich side of the stable. So this is the stable. There's 2 of these. There's 1 over here and 1 over there. You got the nice, like, 6-seated area in here that you could pay for, or you got the easy, just hitch it. It's free, but it's not as nice. And it's obviously a lot there. It's going to be poop all over the place because horses, you know. Used pale oak up here. I really like the doors. They really do give the barn door effect, and I actually have seen a few barns that have doors that are all the way at the top. So that's kind of what I was going for here. Then right across the street, we got a restaurant. We got the Baked Potato. If we come inside here, we got a couple dudes here. These are mainly placeholders right now. Don't currently have leather armor on demand. That'll be something for next episode. But what I do have is a couple armor stands here, and just kind of a placeholder. And then in here, we just got food all over the place. We got meat cooking, pork here, actual pork. That we're going to use the wheat to make breaded pork. A sword mainly as a knife here. If you guys have any other ideas for utensils that a kitchen could use, let me know, because I'm not 100% sure what else to use in this area, or even other food items that you'd like to see in here. And of course, if we go upstairs, there's a little bit more of a seating area, and then there's a little balcony here. In order to make this balcony work, because it is 3 blocks wide out, I bumped the whole restaurant in by 1 block and then built the kitchen as its own thing, mainly because it was awkward to have, like, this go in by a block, all the way to there. You know, so this is actually 7 blocks wide all the way to there, and then this is 6 wide and have it not fit. And I was like, it looks weird. So I decided to bump the kitchen out, and I think that looks really good. I like the way that looks. On to the next building right here. Don't mind the iron golems. Obviously, the village is still existent here. We have the bakery, and that is its name, is the bakery. Because it isn't the bakery. It's the bakery. You know what I mean? It's the town square spot. You know, this is where everyone actually gathers. So we have another 2 like guys here to placeholder. And then we've got some items on display, some items that are ready to be sold, and bread that's currently cooking. We have bread that has yet to be made, and eventually I want to put a cake in here as well, and probably put one up there. We got a little couch seating area because this place is popular. And if we come upstairs, there's a little bit more of a seating area for anyone that wants to sit down. But for the most part, people like being outside. Then we got luscious leather. This is a tailor. So we got a mirror right here. I think that looks good. A little bit of changing room, though I forgot that there isn't a block there currently because I need it for the mirror. We got another guy on display here, and each of these buildings, at least each of these other markets here, have a little like housing area upstairs. I don't think this is where the people live. This is more of a one-night stop. You had a long day. You just need to crash. You could go here. There is a kitchenette, so you can make food in the morning or at night. Or if you just, need to make lunch, you kind of have that whole area there. Right next door is a fish market. Now, this building is actually been here the longest. It was the first building, so the paint job on that is kind of wading away. If you notice, all the other buildings are very clean and smooth, except this one here. The top has been there for a while. The bottom has been revamped, though, because this guy loves selling fish. Doesn't have a name, though. He never came up with one. And he just stands there and he's belting out loud, fish for sale, and all that good jazz. I do need to add a little bit more fish in here. You got his furnace for that. If we come upstairs, we got another furnace, which is actually connected to the one below, so the smoke goes through. Hi, buddy, you just go there. Anyways, yeah, he's going to be troublesome. So this this furnace goes all the way upstairs. This goes up one more into the actual area, and the chimney keeps going. So a little storage here, and a little place to sleep as well. A little plate there, and a little cooking area, a little kitchenette. I really like the way this building came out. By far, I think my favorite of them all. The bakery is my favorite. This is by far a second favorite because it looks so good. We got supervised, which is a soup kitchen here. So you got producing soup. We got mushroom stew all the way around. We got a rabbit stew here. We got a bowl on the ground. Mushrooms for the next stew. It's a suspicious stew that kind of got thrown to the side there. And another guy there. We have that up there. The bakery we already talked about. We got Chipped right here. Chipped is the jeweler. So we got the not so precious jewels and then the really precious jewels. Don't worry, I will line this gold up with these two. It's just, once again, these are more of the concept, though this will probably remain the same. You got everything there. You got the storage for all the jewels, and then upstairs, once again, a little housing area. And then across the street, we got Fantastic Flora selling some flowers here. We got a little water basin there so we can keep them hydrated. I like how a lot of them look. It looks very nice. Pretty simple otherwise. Right across the street, we got Clayman. This is going to be a sherd shop. I don't actually have a lot of sherds, nor do I have a lot of pots, so we just have these as placeholders and kind of an idea of what we want. More storage here for the sherds. And once again, a little living area. And this one has a balcony to it, which is really nice. So we could drop down here to go to this guy, which is Bright World. This is a candle shop. Got various different colors here. And we're using the candles to light it up, which I think is a nice little detail compared to the lanterns everywhere else. So ironically, it is the darkest place, despite being called Bright World. Next door, we have Wart Shop, which the story behind this guy, I'm actually going to go sleep real quick. The story behind the Wart Shop is that this guy kind of just swooped in and grabbed this building. So he bought the building, even though it's on the main street, and the only thing he had to sell were warts. So he sold them, and he doesn't know how to market, so he just called it the Wart, or just Wart Shop, not even the Wart Shop. It's just a Wart Shop. So it's very generic, very hidden there, a little alleyway right there. And last but not least, we have Sweet Pea, which is a candy shop. Once again, comment down below any ideas you have for candy. I like options. I don't know what in Minecraft I could use other than sugar. So give me some ideas out there. Maybe a lightning rod could be a lollipop or something, but it'd be a little metallic there. Or I could do custom models. I'll have to remember how to do all that. And upstairs, we got a much larger area. I think this could be like a candy workshop. So he makes the candy up here, then goes downstairs. And in stone for the walls there. I think that looks really nice. And then, of course, on the other end, we have another stable, and then it goes on further. We'll make another town there as well. But yeah, this looks really nice. I'm really happy with the way that this town came out. It's just such a nice like vibe. You come down here. I can't wait until I have it more full with more villagers, real ones walking around, and then the armor stands to just have a little bit more stationary way. And then, of course, have the roads go off. This will go to the manor, which will be back there, the town hall. This will go into the town center, which will be right around where that bell is, kind of curve into a circle, and then have a residential area back there. I got ideas, but those will have to wait for another day because we're not quite there yet. And yeah, as I said, we need leather for a lot of these guys. We don't have the leather required for this, so I think we need a leather worker trading hall. So that's going to be a next episode problem, but that's going to do it for today's episode. So hopefully you enjoyed this, and that's all. Bye. Free.